wanna stay ahead of the curve and follow my words. How we doing? Teach, train, innovate, solve, yeah. Teach, train, innovate, solve. If you wanna be ahead of the curve, then follow my words.
Good evening, everyone. It's TTIS, where we build confident, empowered educators through empathy, strategy, and practical tools that you can use today. Our topic tonight is how to serve well and stay whole. Recently, I was talking with a colleague regarding this topic, and they said that this subject was rather deep, and I was excited to hear that because we're on a path to uncover some things that are not surface level topics or reflections, but I want to help you ponder how you serve, because teaching is service. I'm going to share some hard truths tonight to help you recenter and get back to your right posture. So I'll start out with the statement that service without stewardship leads to depletion, not impact. Caring for yourself is not separate from caring for your students. It's what makes sustained service possible. And the goal here really is not to push through. The goal is to serve without eroding your capacity. So early in my career, I believed that good teaching meant being available for everything. I was the one who stayed late, filled the gaps, answered every email, and took on issues that really weren't actually mine to solve. And on the surface, it looked like a commitment. In reality, it was unsustainable. Nothing collapsed all at once. So for those who were worried, that wasn't my case. But slowly, my best energy was spent putting out fires instead of building instructions. I wasn't serving students better, but I was completely off course. And I had a mentor that helped me to refocus with a simple question. Does this strengthen your instructional impact, or does it simply stretch your availability? That question helped me to shift a few things around. I started protecting my planning time. I stopped rescuing students from productive struggle. I created systems instead of relying on effort. And I said no to work even when it was uncomfortable for me to do that. Why? Because it didn't align with my goals that I had set at the beginning of the year. Here's what surprised me. My students didn't get less. It got more consistency. My instruction improved. My decisions were clearer. And my capacity to serve, it didn't shrink. It stabilized. See, serving well really requires capacity. And capacity requires boundary. And that leads me to what we're going to discuss and focus on tonight. Our goal tonight really is to talk about how survival versus sustainable practices actually help you to reach your goal. Survival is not it. Sustainable practices is. How to reframe challenges that we are facing, and I'm going to present to you 4. There's so many that are, bombarding us, but I'm going to talk to you about 4 in particular. Then I'm going to discuss strengthening your capacity to serve. And finally, what I call anchoring. That's going to be our subject for tonight. And I hope that it is helpful to you. And you'll really do some of the practices that I'm going to propose to you tonight to help you. I know it's the holiday season. I know that many of us are out for school break. This is a great time for reflection. And I like to bring you reflection, reflect the practices when it is break time. Because oftentimes we're so busy, the hustle, the bustle, everything that's going on. that we don't sit and really think about what we're doing. And so here, survival versus sustainable practices is our first topic. And both have notable factors, things that one produces, for example, surviving breeds reacting instead of planning, saying yes by default. I've been guilty. Studying, teaching, and serving without a clear system, it only breeds exhaustion. But sustainable practices, or what I'm going to call thriving, looks like acting with intention, protecting your time and energy. I talked about that in one of my previous videos, and how the T-test actually tells you to do that. And then making decisions that support both students and yourself. All of these are factors in which will help you to get sustainable practices beginning in your life. If you haven't already started, to propel you toward that instead of this, I get home, I plop on the couch, I don't get up until the next morning because I'm so exhausted by all of the various things that I have felt, participated in, and even had things thrown on me for the day. So here's my reflective question. What part of your role currently costs you more than it gives back to you? And let that sit for just a moment. Before I close this particular section of our conversation, I just want to remind you that thriving is not always comfortable. That's not what I'm preaching to you tonight or sharing with you about. But it is alignment between your purpose, why you serve, and the capacity, what is realistically sustainable, what you can actually do each day. Are you working together rather than competing? Sometimes it's a competition between yourself. Sometimes it's this projection, this idea that I've got to do more. And so, how can we reframe some of these challenges so that we are serving and not self-sacrificing all the time? Well, there's going to be some sacrifices that we have to make with our profession. There are some things that we'll have to change around. But today I'm going to share with you 4 challenges that I just want to help to reframe them. When I say reframe, I'm talking about turn that thing around so that it is in a positive light. Change the way you're thinking about it, how you are reacting to things. Because many of the changes that we make in life, they start right here in your mind, in your brain, deciding a decision that you're making. And so the first challenge is there's not enough time. But I want to reframe this. And I want you to really think about this in this term. Because time pressure is often a signal that priorities need structure, not sacrifice. Something is not structured properly. Something is off key. And if you can pinpoint that and make changes to it, that statement won't be the resounding factor in your life. The second challenge I see often with us as educators, I should have already figured this out, as if we hadn't figured it out before, we would be doing that practice. But this is really a growth role. It requires learning curves. Many of the things that we do, it requires learning curve. And mastery really is not built overnight. It's not assumed. It's something that we just have to work through. Again, strategies, consistent, positive practices, all ways to help you do that. Then the third challenge, I feel pulled in too many directions. When your energy is scattered, it indicates the attention is being pulled away from the high impact work. I read a book that really has changed a portion of the way I operate. Actually, two books, but I'll just mention one today. And that is How to Eat Frog. Some of the practices that I was doing was leading to procrastination, was not honoring the high impact things that I needed to do. I found my way through that book. I think that these comments that I'm saying to you will help you to find your way as well. So that although you might be feeling that twinge that you're pulled in too many directions, you can line it up, refocus it, and reframe it to figure out what high impact work maybe I am not attending to that's making me feel that way. And the fourth challenge, everything feels urgent. Now. Gotta be done now. I talked with a fellow educator in the hallway a couple of weeks ago about this. We can't do everything at that time. Gotta make some priority shifts. So consistent urgency really is a signal that systems and decision filters are missing. Not that you are ineffective, not all of the negative things that can come to your head when you haven't met, all of these deadlines are coming together at the same time. But that I just need to line my systems up properly. When I'm talking about systems, I'm talking about the productivity tools you use. I'm talking about filtering out things that are not important. Those are the kinds of things that I'm referring to. While we are trying to get our purposes together, practicing properly, and recognizing our capacity to attend to these things, we also need to strengthen our capacity to serve. How do you do that? By protecting your time. Protecting your time means being intentional about what earns space on your calendar. Your planning assessments, your reflections, your targeted study requires uninterrupted time to be effective. This is where I like to introduce capacity check barometer. Few questions to help you to gauge where's your capacity? How are you dealing with your capacity measures? And the first question is, does this action align with your role and your goals? And I can't say that enough. I've said it in several videos, but I'm going to keep saying it until it clicks. There are just some things that are outside of our role and does not point to our direct goal that we are giving too much time and attention to. Second question, does it strengthen or does it drain your ability to serve well? You know the feeling. It's this stress that begins in the back of your neck, tightens your shoulder, or makes you want to, clench your fingers, clench your fist. It's not strengthening you. What support or system would you make in order to make this sustainable? What support systems do you need in order to choose to make this sustainable? Those are all questions, our third and final question, that will help you to kind of think through that. Because strengthening your capacity to serve means that you not only can serve your students, your building, your community better, but it's you. Your cup being full. And I do have a video that talks about that. It's one of my more popular videos. And I know why. Because some of us are off balance. And when I talk about off balance, I'm not talking about your life is going to be balanced all the time, because that's a fallacy in my opinion. It is how we juggle the things that we have. And so in essence, this capacity that we have in order to serve, that I'm serving to depletion. No, that's not how I serve well, either myself or others. And so it leads me to my anchoring topic for you tonight. Caring for yourself is part of how you honor yourself, your family, your students, and the role that you play as a teacher. But it starts with you caring for you, not the latter. Thriving is not an indulgence. It is discipline around what you get your energy to. What am I giving it to? How am I taking care of the capacity of all of the things that I have to go on with me? I was a young teacher. I was single mom, the breadwinner of the home, all kinds of different things going on. All of those challenges I talked about earlier pulling at me. But really, I had to learn to care for myself first. You know, they talk about that when we're on a plane. They tell you if something happens on the plane, you have to put your mask on first. Because what good will it be when the altitude falls so fast and you're trying to serve others? I hope that analogy really sinks in for you tonight. I don't want it to be heavy, but I do want to address a heavy topic. So before we end our session tonight, anchor yourself in caring for you. Make that be the choice, that you are refilling your cup. What hobbies, what activities do you love, do you enjoy, that you're pushing aside to not do because of time's sake, because of I gotta catch up? Ever going to catch up that way? You only deplete. So I want to close with this affirmation. I really want you to repeat it after me. Caring for myself is part of how I honor myself, my family, students, and this beloved profession, teaching, that I love. Because the strongest educators are not the most exhausted. They are not. They are the most intentional. Too many people have applauded us, giving all, and saying that's how you serve. Such a fallacy. Not true at all. But systems replace stress. Boundaries replace burnout. Might you be guilty of putting up the boundaries and utilizing the systems that work well for you, whether in your classroom or your personal life? I wish you well. I'm always grateful that you come here, and I want to thank you personally for watching. We are still racing toward our goal of 100 subscribers, hoping to meet the next milestone each time. And I'm talking to you about a goal that I have, because I help people to reach their goal. Whether it's you trying to pass your certification exam, or you seeking to thrive in your classroom with coaching measures, that's what we do here. And as I started our conversation, we are empathetic to whatever it is that you're going through. We provide strategies to help you to break through that mold. And we give you tools to empower you. I hope tonight's tool, our talk about what measures and things you can do as a reflection, were of assistance. You can always talk to us via email on your screen. We'd love it if you visit our website, and continue to subscribe at all of our social media platforms. Here on this station tonight, please like and subscribe and share this topic because it's near and dear to my heart. I have served education for many years. I've been able to serve in education for many years. And I'm excited to do so, but not at the sacrifice of me. I work in a profession that I love, but it does have some ways to drain us. You fit those boundaries, put in your systems practices in place so that you can ward off all of those things that sometimes try to take over. Well, that's it for tonight. See you again next Monday. Same channel, new topic, still in the line of education. All right, everyone. Have a great evening.